Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Little update, I got some work done today. I'm all about reusing what I can. And what I did was I'm going to reuse the Chevette motor mounts on both sides, along with some cushions from a motor mount kit that I had from Speedway Motors with the little L's. I don't want to alter the chassis itself, like weld into it or anything like that, because if I ever want to make it 4-cylinder again, I can do it, which I probably won't, but I can. So these are going to be trimmed and riv nutted to the side of the chassis, the factory rails. The motor's centered. It's about 4 inches. The center line is about 4 inches, so it's in a stock place. The factory location as the 4-cylinder, so it doesn't have any vibrations. Got the factory Chevette mount. I'm going to make a plate to mount those. They're only held on right now with 1 screw. Those L plates right here are going to be riv nutted at the side. Like I said, I don't like cutting anything. The factory Chevette mounts are going to, the factory cross member mounts are going to stay there. I'm not going to change those. So this is the 3.4 Camaro engine. Got 2 1/4 inch flanges. I had to bend metal back a little teeny bit so I can get the exhaust routed right by the starter. These have a huge starter for such a little motor. So I'm waiting for gaskets. This is in a stock place as the factory probably would have put it, because the transmission mount is from a Turbo 200, which are different from this 4-speed and the 180, so the later cars. I sanded this down a little teeny bit. I'm just going to spray that so I got room for the distributor. There's enough room on there. Remember, I did a swap a long time ago. I did it with a 2.8 when I was 16 or 17 years old, and I hacked it all up, but it ran and ran good. I drove it all over the place, but it was never right. It vibrated, all kind of other stuff. But it ran. I didn't have the tools or the knowledge that I have today. So there's enough room there for the exhaust. All right, I'm going to show you underneath. Go ahead, lift it up. So it's getting there. Just waiting on the parts. And I'm trying to engineer everything so it's done right and I'm happy with it. And I could do a couple more cars with just bolt-in parts. This lift takes forever. And I want enough room where I can shut the hood without putting a hood scoop. I don't like hood scoops. I like when you look at the outside of the car, it looks factory. I'm probably going to mill the carb adapter a little bit to drop it down. I have Edelbrock valve covers for it. I have the Edelbrock intake over there. Eventually I'll put a little cam in it. I'll make a set of headers for it. But for now, I just want to get it on the road, take it for a spin, do some burnouts, show my son what it is to have a little V6 Chevette. I'm going to race his Mustang. Alright, so this thing's pretty damn greasy under it. I used the 4x4 S10 oil pan. It hangs down a little bit, but I'm going to make a skid plate. I was going to cut it, but I don't want to lose oil capacity. And a little bit of surface rust in the bottom because this car was sitting in the back for a while. The 5-speed. All right, that's good. The 5-speed drive shaft fits perfect. This is the Turbo 200 factory cross member. If you notice, there's a difference from the 180s and the 4-speed and 5-speed. I got a bunch of those. So you can see where the oil pan hangs down a little bit. It's not too bad though. It's only about, take a look from the front. It looks worse than it really is. It's not too bad. But I'm going to take and put I'm going to make a steel guard for it. So, like I said, These are the Chevette motor mounts. I'm going to make a plate to match so all the bolts line up. I'm going to rivet nut these brackets to the side of the chassis or subframe, whatever, the chassis. And these little biscuits, you can buy them at Speedway Motors and other places. This is what all the hot rod guys use, and they seem to work pretty well. If they're good enough for a V8, they're good enough for a V6. It only makes like 160 horsepower. So, bolts in like factory. I got to take, these bolts were not, these holes were not tapped from the factory. I got to, because this car never came with a 200 this year. And this one I got to tap. The nut's in there, but it's not tapped. So, yep, just want to give you an update of what's going on. I had to trim the trans a little bit, the ear of the motor a little bit, so it doesn't touch the steering, but it fits beautifully in there. And I had to do that the first time with the 2.8. Look at that, plenty of room. You can actually take you can get all the engine bolts and take it out. There's the exhaust. That's one exhaust right there. It's going to come down. And another one that's going to squeeze through the area right here. So those flanges are 2 inches, 2 1/4, I think. So I'm either going to do 2 inch or 2 1/4. Make a wide pipe and run it back. Turn it into dual exhaust. That's the way I did the one. This one actually had dual exhaust last time with the 4-cylinder. So, all right, stay tuned. The Chevette Collector, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks.